So hey guys, we're gonna talk about the Microsoft operating systems and stuff like that. Mostly Windows, but we're going a bit out of order, and we're starting with MS-DOS 5. So MS-DOS 5, Microsoft Disk Operating System. You don't use the mouse. Instead, you use the keyboard. And it's also the command things. Yeah, but MS-DOS 5. That's what this is. So MS-DOS 5. Yeah. Let's move on to Windows. Actually, not. Okay, so there's MS-DOS 6, and this is an upgraded version. Yeah, I don't know much about MS-DOS because I don't use MS-DOS. I do use Windows, but I want to use a Mac because Windows is like bad and stuff. But yeah, there's MS-DOS 6. So now there's Windows 1, and this is the first version of Windows that was out. It does have an old look to it, as you can see. Well, you can't see because I'm just showing the box, but yeah, it does have an old look to it. And some stuff in there looks gibberish, like the BSOD. Yeah. So now let's talk about Windows 2 and 3. They're just like Windows 1, only they're a bit more improved and stuff. But stuff is still gibberish, and yeah, I'm not saying that there's no English stuff in it, but the BSOD is just plain old gibberish. Yeah. And this is Windows NT. It looks a lot more like what we see on today on like the older versions when we set our PCs to the older version or something like that. Yeah, there's NT. And there's Windows 95. It is basically just like a remake of Windows NT. It does have a bit more, and yeah. I think this is the version that Windows Internet Explorer came out. I'm basing it off the picture, so yeah. I don't know. It might be 98, but whatever. We'll find out pretty soon. So now Windows 98, this is basically the same thing as Windows 95. If, Internet Explorer didn't come out in 95, I think it came out here. I forgot. It either came out in 95 or 98. I think 95. But, yeah. Well then. Yep. Then we have Windows Me, which is just Windows Millennium Edition. Millennium Edition. I have no clue why they called it that. But, yeah. It's just like all the ones like 2000 to NT are basically like 98 and all that stuff. Few improvements. Now Windows 2000, again, like the same as Me, 98, 95, NT, all that stuff. Yeah, so it's just the same thing. Now on Windows XP. XP was the big thing, the new look, the new flag, everything. People, like, once XP came out, that's when Windows started to become Windows. I think this is like the most popular Windows. I'm not so sure, but it's way popular than Vista. Not way, but it is popular than Vista. It might be a bit more popular than 7, but Windows XP was the big step. I mean, all the programs, the new look, everything. The widgets, the wizards, not the widgets, that came in Vista. The wizards, the accessibility, the customization. This is the big thing. This was the big thing. This is Windows Vista. Got a new look. Looks wicked cool. But it's buggy. Got widgets. But it's still buggy. And by buggy, I mean really buggy. Extremely buggy. Really extremely buggy. Next, Windows 7. Windows 7 is like the big thing. But Microsoft does decide to steal a few things from Mac in this. In Windows 7, what they decide to steal from Mac, look at the taskbar on Windows 7. It looks kind of like Vista, only a bit. Like, Windows 7 looks like Vista, except for the taskbar. They stole that from Mac, basically. You have the Mac dock. What happens when you take the Mac dock, give it a little Windows look, you get the Windows 7 taskbar. This is just the same thing, it's just copying. I think this is so far the second popular Windows, or the most popular, making XP second. But yeah. But this isn't all. And there's Windows 8. It's basically like the desktop version of Windows Phone and stuff like that. This isn't the box, it's just like a little wallpaper from DeviantArt. Windows 8 is like the newest Windows. We don't know that, well, what it looks like now, like what it is now. They still have that taskbar thing, but they have a new look for your start menu. And what it is now, we're in the developers preview, or I guess the beta. So this is going to be a lot different than what's going to be like when the full version comes out. One thing is, it's going to be money, obviously. I mean, you can't just go out and buy an operating system or buy Windows or Mac without paying. You could get Linux and Ubuntu without paying, but not. Actually, I use Windows XP, so. Yeah, so this has been it. No bad comments. And if you guys know if Windows Internet Explorer came out in 98 or 95, please tell me in the comments. See ya.